Wanted to share that because if writing this down and sharing it with everybody is going to have, a true benefit, I can't just give advice and skim across and say, well, I understand you, I've been through.
What childhood secret did Shania Twain hide for decades that shaped her into the best-selling female country artist of all time? How did a tragedy that nearly stole her voice lead her back to her earliest musical inspiration? And why did it take Shania until age 60 to finally speak the truth about Ricky Nelson? Stay with us as we uncover the remarkable story of how a little girl from poverty-stricken Canada found her musical compass through a 1950s icon, and how that connection would echo throughout her entire legendary career. Shania Twain was born Eileen Regina Edwards on August 28, 1965, in the small mining town of Windsor, Ontario, and raised in the rugged landscape of Timmins. She emerged from a life of hardship to become one of the most influential artists in country music history. Her story is not simply one of talent. It's a remarkable testament to resilience, determination, and an inner fire that refused to be extinguished, no matter how severe the obstacles placed before her. Growing up in poverty, she often went hungry, wore hand-me-down clothes, and learned from a young age that survival depended on grit, resourcefulness, and the ability to find solace in creativity. Music became that refuge. Even as a child, she sensed a deep intuitive connection to melody and storytelling, singing in local clubs and bars long before she was old enough to legally enter them, all to help support her struggling family. After the tragic loss of her parents in a car accident when she was just 21, she suddenly became the guardian of her younger siblings. Instead of pursuing stardom immediately, she put her dreams on hold and took a job singing at the Deerhist Resort in Ontario to provide stability for her family. This period showcased not only her vocal skill, but her immense personal strength and the ability to sacrifice her own ambitions to protect the people she loved. Her big break came when she signed with Mercury Records in the early 1990s, adopting the stag name Shania, meaning on my way in Ojibwe, a fitting symbol of her future trajectory. Her debut album caught the attention of producer Robert John Mutt Lang, who recognized her extraordinary talent. Their creative partnership and eventual marriage ignited a musical revolution. Together, they crafted the groundbreaking album The Woman in Me in 1995, which fused pop, rock, and country into a bold new sound that redefined the genre. Hits like Any Man of Mine, Whose Bed Have Your Boots Been Under, and You Win My Love transformed Shania into a rising force in Nashville and beyond. But here's something that will keep you watching. Shania has now revealed that the secret to her genre-blending success traces back to a childhood obsession she never publicly acknowledged until now. It was Come On Over in 1997 that changed everything. The album became a cultural phenomenon, ultimately becoming the best-selling studio album by a female artist in any genre and one of the highest-selling albums of all time. With chart-topping singles like Man, I Feel Like a Woman, You're Still the One, and From This Moment On, Shania not only dominated the charts, but also shattered stereotypes about what country music could look and sound like. Even at the height of her fame, challenges continued to follow her. Her marriage collapsed after a deeply painful scandal involving her husband's affair with her close friend and personal assistant, Marianne Thibault. Their divorce was finalized on June 9, 2010. But from heartbreak came healing when she found love with Frederick Thibault, Marianne's former husband, who had experienced a parallel betrayal. They married on January 1, 2011. Adding to her struggles, Shania was diagnosed with dysphonia and Lyme disease, which severely damaged her vocal cords and nearly ended her singing career. For years, she struggled not only with the physical limitations, but with the emotional trauma of suddenly losing the ability that defined her life. Now, at 60, Shania Twain is more reflective and willing than ever to talk candidly about the moments and influences that shaped her extraordinary life. In a recent interview, she surprised fans by finally revealing the full truth about her long-held admiration for the late Ricky Nelson, an admiration that had quietly shaped her musical instincts since childhood. I was just a little girl in Timmins, sitting cross-legged on the living room floor, staring at our tiny television, Twain recalled. And every time Ricky Nelson came on, something in me lit up. His voice had this smoothness that felt like velvet, and his presence was magnetic. I didn't understand it then, but he was one of the first artists who made me think, I want to do that. I want to make people feel the way he makes me feel. Twain explained that Nelson wasn't simply a celebrity crush or a passing childhood phase. He was one of her earliest and most formative musical inspirations. Growing up in poverty and living through hardship, she clung to music as a source of comfort and escape. When you're young and going through things that feel far too heavy, you hold on to anything that gives you light, she said. Ricky Nelson's music did that for me. His songs were like a warm hand reaching out, reminding me that the world could still be beautiful. But Twain also revealed that her connection to Nelson's artistry deepened as she matured as a singer-songwriter. She began to appreciate his ability to blend genres country, rockabilly, pop into a sound that felt effortless, but was actually groundbreaking. He was bold in such a quiet way, she said. He didn't shout about being a trailblazer, but he was. He made crossing genres feel natural. And I think that influenced me more than I ever realized. When I later blended country with pop and rock, I think I was channeling a piece of what I learned from him. Twain said that for years she kept this connection private, partly out of humility and partly because her own career exploded so quickly. But as she reached 60, a milestone she described as liberating, she felt compelled to acknowledge the artists who helped guide her. You get to a certain point in life where honesty feels like a gift you give yourself, she said. I've spent so much of my life telling my story in pieces, and this is a piece I've never really shared. Ricky Nelson deserves that recognition from me. She even admitted that during moments of self-doubt, including the darkest years when Lyme disease nearly stole her voice, Nelson's music resurfaced in her life as a reminder of why she fought so hard to return. When I thought I might never sing again, I went back to the very beginning, to the voices that first inspired me, she explained. Hearing Ricky again brought me comfort. It reminded me of the girl who believed in music with her whole heart. Twain emphasized that while she never met Nelson, he died tragically in 1985, his legacy lives inside her artistic DNA. And as she looks ahead to new music, new tours, and new chapters, she carries his influence with gratitude. I owe him more than I can ever say, she admitted. He helped shape my musical compass long before I even knew I had one. And at 60, I'm finally ready to say it out loud. The truth, as Twain tells it, is simple. Ricky Nelson helped kindle the fire that would one day make her the best-selling female country artist in history. And now, with age granting her perspective and peace, she is giving credit where it has always quietly belonged. In finally sharing these reflections, Twain doesn't just pay tribute to a music icon. She reveals a part of her own story that remained quietly tucked away for years, proving that influences from childhood can echo throughout a lifetime, guiding, comforting, and inspiring in ways we often only recognize once we've lived long enough to look back with clear, honest eyes. Beyond her music, Shania has dedicated herself to philanthropy. In 2010, she founded Shania Kids Can, a charitable organization created to support children who face significant hardships, reflecting her lifelong desire to give back. Her autobiography, From This Moment On, published in 2011, offered readers an honest look into her life and became a bestseller. Today, Shania Twain continues to reinvent herself with Las Vegas residencies, new music, and public appearances that celebrate both her legacy and her ongoing evolution as an artist. Her warmth, humor, and humility have endeared her to new generations of fans. She remains a pioneer who expanded the boundaries of country pop and a survivor whose story inspires anyone who has ever had to start again after losing everything.